Good evening, everyone. I'm Rhythm Sachdeva, and I'm live from Asian College of Journalism pop-up newsroom as a part of International Women's Day. And today, on this occasion, I have a honorable company of three inspiring women from Chennai, India. We have with us Ms. Kirti Jayakumar, who is a women rights activist and founder of the Peace Building Foundation, the Red Elephant Foundation. Ms. Vaishnavi Sundar, who is an independent filmmaker, actor, screenwriter, and activist from Chennai, India. And our third esteemed guest is Ms. Geeta Jayakumar, who is a healing and health practitioner. I welcome you all.
Thank you. Thank you for having us here.
Vaishnavi, starting with you, this term feminism has various perceptions. What's your take on this?
And the only one there is really, it's feminism is a no-nonsense state of mind where we call that all genders are the same. We're fighting as a movement for all genders to be the same. There can't be many perceptions to it because for me it's a very no-nonsense movement. It's the most no-nonsense movement there is.
Like many people on the name of feminism, they promote gender inequality rather equality. This gender equality never comes into play. It's more about female, making females projected more than men. So what do you think this is all about?
So there are two glasses, and one glass has no water, one glass has water filled to the brim. So would you not pour water onto the empty glass till it gets to the brim? Would you call that undue? Would you call that partial? Would you call that bias? For it to be equal, you need to pour water into the empty glass first, right?
Yeah, right.
So I don't think that female is getting undue importance or female, the brands are biased towards the female. I don't think so. Okay. We need to come to a point where we can truly call ourselves equal, and then we can, on a level playing field, then we can talk about who's better, who's not, or not at all, and then everybody just coexist happily.
Okay. Passing the same question to you, Kirti. You have this Instagram page, Femcyclopedia, which has been launched as an exhibition today. Mm-hmm. So tell us more about it and what is this whole idea about doodling women across the globe?
So to start with, since you said that you're passing the question to me, I would completely agree with Vaishnavi.
Okay.
Feminism is nothing but equality. And we call it feminism because until and unless we make sure that men and women are equal, we're going to have to keep that conversation alive, and which is exactly where Femcyclopedia starts. So when you look at any history textbook, whatever be the board of education, whatever level of education, you'll find that there's probably at the most just a mention of a few names of women in history, not their contributions, not their stories. Yeah. You have even Sarojini Naidu is mentioned for being a poet, but not her work as a suffragist. There's not even a mention of how much she did for the voting rights of women. And that's terrible. Because when you're continuing to keep the culture alive, where you completely render invisible a woman's voice, completely discount it, you're effectively continuing to tell young women and girls that no matter what you do, you're not going to be valued. And that's horrible. Just imagine half of the world's population being told that. That's horrible, right? So Femcyclopedia was my act of resistance. It's my way of putting women back into the conversation. I love doodling. It's a hobby. So I put together a hobby and a passion, and that's what we have.
Yeah, I agree on the point that it's the role of women in history has not been projected well. I was checking the Facebook a while ago, and there was a whole, slideshow kind of a thing wherein there were photographs and the contribution of women. So it was very strange that I knew hardly 2-3 names. I never came across those names my entire life. Okay, so whosoever has joined us now, we are live at Asian College of Journalism pop-up newsroom as a part of the International Women's Day. Geeta ma'am, my next question is to you. According to the WHO report, the depressive disorders among women are around 49.3% compared to men, which is 29.4%. And the basic two reasons behind these depressive orders are the sexual and the domestic violence that they face. So from you, I want to know what is the role of men in the healing process and in reducing these numbers among women?
I will not say that men can contribute to reducing depression in women because each carries his own burden.
Okay.
So each one has to clear himself of whatever he is carrying. So as you very rightly said, that yes, it is the sexual oppression which is happening. But when you say 29.4 in men, how many are going unreported? Because mental illness is something which does not get reported, especially if it is a man, because we still hold on to the belief that he is the bread earner. And if it comes out that he is depressive, then that goes. So yes, it is each one's burden to carry, and each one has to clear himself of it. Nobody plays a role, because what you are is what you are holding on to. And unless you clear yourself of it, you're not going to be rid of it. They can hold the space for you, that's about it.
Talking about the role of men in this whole scenario of gender equality, Katie, tell us about the United Nations He for She campaign. As the Red Elephant Foundation was a part of it, what kind of results did you get out of it?
So I'll be very honest in telling you that the He for She campaign is perhaps superficial, in the sense that it's just been about getting men to take a stand with a selfie. But what we try to do very actively is to go to a bit of a deep dive to make men and boys understand that they are stakeholders in a future of gender equality. Patriarchy is as much something that victimizes men as well, because it dehumanizes them. It gives them license to be violent, gives them license to assert themselves in a conversation that's not about them, and to appropriate a space that is exclusively for women. So when it's not a right kind of power to wield, and there's no responsibility with this kind of power. So in effect, if you have power without responsibility, you have monsters. And He for She, I feel, could have sort of had a bit more in terms of potential, in terms of the potential it has and what it could have exploited to get the conversation going. Because it's not about selfies. It's not about putting out a photograph saying, I support women on 8th of March. It's about living that every day. Shared responsibilities. It's about, so you can't come on Facebook and tell me I support women and then go back home and tell your wife, make me a sandwich. That's not how it works. It's about getting up and doing your task. Nothing is a function of your gender. And until we arrive at that place, we're going to have to keep fighting.
Maybe we don't have the desired solutions or desired results as we wished for, but I think there is some sort of role that men play in the whole scenario.
Definitely.
But being a woman, we have to lay our own paths, and that's where we really appreciate your initiative, Vaishnavi, wherein you have that platform making women making films, where you promote women filmmakers. So tell us about that one film that is close to your heart.
Well, it's okay. I can tell a bit about the community itself, because it's not just about promoting films made by women. It's so much more than that. It's the only one that is available in India right now that brings together women from across the globe with... it's very intersectional, and I do all kinds of interviews with people. I do a lot of series, short film series, Ask Me Anything series, misguided portrayal series. Is just a number of things that I do. I try to do. If there is one film that I can call, which is my favorite, that's going to be absolutely impossible, because I, in my endeavor, ever since I started WMF, have been archiving a lot of information about films that were made by women that have probably not become mainstream success, but has reached a lot of people direct into their hearts. So WMF is one repository that I think has a list of all my favorites, because it's easy to work with your favorites, right? Especially if you're doing a community, it's easier if you pick your favorite and just talk about it, talk about the goods of it, talk about how it reaches out to a lot of people. So it's impossible for me to give you a film. I can give you a lot of films, and that's all what WMF is about.
Okay, so we have a live question here for you, ma'am. Someone is asking, is it true that most women opt for fitness training for aesthetic purposes and not to be fit?
That's very true, because people are so fixated, this is what I have to be, a size 0. But luckily that's sort of, it's getting blown away, because the West is slowly diverging from that. But then I would like to also add that, coming for an aesthetic purpose, my classes I handle it a different way because it's holistic. It's a total mind, body, and the soul connection. And once they start releasing whatever has to be released, what they are holding in their body, because weight gain, let me say it for the audience, is not solely because of what you eat and lack of exercise. Of course, nutrition, lifestyle is very, very important, but a lot of what you have been holding, your self-esteem and your isolation issues, all that contribute to it. So unless you make it a total balance, it's not going to happen.
Okay.
If
Yeah,
it's okay
please.
to add to what Geetanji said, most of the aesthetic pressure is a patriarchal conformity, I think. Right?
100%.
That's the key thing here, where we think that we have to belong to a certain body type for us to be called a certain way, or be appreciated, or be accommodated into the society in a certain way.
And
So-
that's there everywhere. You open a Facebook page, all the posts, you don't get to see the posts which you subscribe for. But the only thing which keeps pouring this diet is good, and then immediately the next post will be that diet is bad, come to mind. So you have a whole range to choose from. And they're so confused.
And it's pressure, I think, at the end of the day. It's
Yes.
a lot of pressure because it's also, I'm being very honest here. I do fight for women's rights, I do fight for feminism, but there are times when I myself feel like I don't look good enough. I need to do this, I need to do that. And it's pressure, it gets to you.
And it's not only that, people from home, how much are they pushing their children?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is more
there
about
is
like
a-
you have to set standards, society to be like what society wants you to be like.
Yeah.
Exactly. And when the child is not bothered and there is pressure from everybody at home, then it's really sad what the child is going to carry. And you are putting it into her mind when she doesn't have it already.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all about the society is like individuals make society, the homes make societies. So we all have a part to play in it. I guess none of us have like certain answers to any questions here, but change is definitely coming, and we are definitely on the right path. So once again, from the Asian College of Journalism pop-up newsroom, as the being a part of the International Women's Day, I thank you all of you for joining us. Thank you for your time, and happy Women's Day. Thank you.